everybody. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone is good and you're enjoying your weekend. It's going down in Buckingham Palace, and baby, the snake pit is hissing louder than ever. Oh my goodness. I usually don't like paying attention to these people because they do not interest me in any way whatsoever. But the noise coming from Buckingham Palace at the moment is so loud that I have no choice but to pay attention. Queen Camilla and Prince William, these two are at it. They're briefing against each other like it's the final season of House of Cards. And trust me, the tea is boiling hot, but we will get to that in a minute. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Isabella Bank's YouTube channel. It's your girl Weezy here, and as always, it's a pleasure to be here with you this evening. Grab your wine, grab your snacks, because tonight we are peeling back the layers on palace drama, luxury yachts, and power struggles. And yes, the Sentebale saga is making yet another messy turn. You know I had to bring you the tea. So, we are in a situation where we would say it's situation condition critical at the moment, and Charles must be looking at his life and wondering why he came into life in the first place. So let's start with the big headline from the Mirror. Queen Camilla orders Charles to put a stop to Prince William creating issues in monarchy. I mean, we've always known that there are power struggles happening behind the scenes with Kate and William. That's their so-called continuous state of being on holidays. I feel like it is their way of being in silent rebellion, but that's just me. That's my opinion. Okay. So now it looks like it's gone beyond that. Apparently, Queen Camilla feels like William is pushing a little too hard to be the driving force behind the monarchy. Translation: My boy wants to be the regent, the same way Charles was for Queen Elizabeth. But Camilla, who finally got that crown after years of being a side chick or having side chick headlines being written about her, is screaming and saying, Not on my watch! Not on my watch. No, the hell not. This is giving Game of Thrones plus energy. Queen Camilla is playing the long game to keep Charles looking strong, vibrant, and in control for as long as possible. And guess who's left looking like a spare to the king and queen? Yup, William. Which, by the way, might explain why he's still very bitter about Harry leaving without Harry in the palace. He's the backup plan. He's the one taking all the flack for issues that they want to cause or create a distraction for. He's the backup and he's tired of it. He is fed up. But here's where it gets messy. Not long after that story broke in the Mirror, Camilla was spotted on a 30 million pound super yacht owned by a Conservative Party mega donor. And you guys, the optics are bad. The optics is so bad because royals are supposed to be apolitical. And here's the Queen of England chilling on a billionaire's boat, sunning it up in the Mediterranean. Now, the Mirror insists that she didn't get anything wrong, she didn't do anything wrong, but for goodness sake, like, can we be real? Can we just speak the truth for once? The optics are not cute. The optics are not cute. And it raises the question of what else happens behind the scenes, you know? And you know what's interesting? That headline about Camilla trying to check William hits the press right after this yacht story dropped. So it's almost like someone's side chick wanted their sugar daddy to warn his child to stop exposing her. And said side chick might have threatened to leak even more information about the Windsor household if Sugar Daddy's son didn't stop. But wait, this exchange is even more interesting because it looks like William leaked Camilla's holiday, allegedly, on the super yacht to the media because Camilla leaked news of his own holiday on a yacht as well. You guys remember that story that went on in the news cycle for weeks or for days, should I say, just last week or the week before. Kate and William were caught on a super yacht, and this time it was a yacht owned by an Abu Dhabi royal family member. Now, listen, I am all for holidays. I mean, we know I'm one of those people who doesn't necessarily even pay too much attention to money they spend or what they're doing. It's not my business. Why? Because the British public don't care. It's their tradition and they don't have a problem with it. If they did have a problem, we would have an uprising like it happened in France. They don't care. So if they don't care, why am I taking Panadol for somebody else's headache? I'm not going to do that. But this one was their 11th holiday of the year, and the environmentalists are not having it. Why? Because yachts are supposedly climate vandalism on water. I did not know that until I was doing the research for this video. That owners of super yachts are regarded as climate vandals. And it makes sense that it would be so, but it's just something that I never really thought about before now. Before I break this scandal down further, let's pause for a second. If this is your first time here, welcome. Please take a moment to hit the subscribe button. Give this video a thumbs up, shall you? Um, could you please? And leave your thoughts in the comment section. I would love to hear from you. If you have visited before but you haven't yet subscribed, let today be the day you come out of the undecided gang and hit that subscribe button. For all those who have been with me from the beginning, thank you for sticking with your girl. Don't forget to hit the like button and share your thoughts in the comment section below. I swear the comments and the conversation is usually juicier in the comment section. All right, let's go back to what we were talking about. Now, since we were talking about the snake pits that is Buckingham Palace or the royal family, the Times is basically reporting that Sophie Chandauka has run Sentebale into the ground. That's not news to anyone because they did mention some of it while when the controversy first hit the media waves. But now they've gone into detail and they're breaking down the facts of how much further Sentebale has been broken down by Sophie's activities. Okay, let's get into it. So they say the Lesotho's Children's Center was once vibrant and full of life, is now being mothballed due to a funding crisis that drained 1.4 million in reserves. Staff are being told to work from home to cut costs, and no children's camps have been held all year. The children's camps is the main activity that Sentebale funds in order to provide the aid for HIV affected children and youths. So, because of the funding crisis, they've not been able to hold any of their camps this year. That's why Sophie was trying to raise funds on social media, which failed drastically. It was an abysmal failure because they were trying to raise the funds. Anyway, so it looks like the beneficiaries of Sentebale are the ones who are suffering and are the receiving end of the fallout between the board of trustees, Prince Harry Sentebale, and that evil let me not use those words, and Sophie Chandauka. As you guys know, our community is actively working on a formal complaint to the Solicitors Regulatory Authority about Sophie's role in the Sentebale's mess. Okay, she is a UK registered solicitor, and in the UK, the Solicitors Regulatory Authority are very proactive when it comes to supervising people who are on their roll, who are registered with them. So, this is where the squad could actually make a real impact. First of all, though, if you've got any suggestions or comments in order to strengthen the draft I have already created, which I have dropped in a private Instagram group, please go ahead to go to the Instagram group. Let me see. Let me get the link to the group over here. I'm going to share it in the chat. Click the link, go to the group so that you can share any comments or suggestions you may have in order to make the draft as strong as possible so that it's as effective as possible. What we don't want is for us to send the draft to um we don't want to send the draft to the Solicitors Regulatory Authority only for them to sweep it under the carpet. That is what I'm trying to work against. So I've dropped the link in the chat. I'm just dropping it in the chat now. Please click on the link to for access to the draft and give me your suggestions. I don't want to assume that I know it all and just send only what I have thought about sending. And the more of us who send the complaint individually, the better. If one person sends the complaint to the SRA, yeah, they will take it seriously. But the very likelihood of them sweeping it under the carpet, same way that the Charity Commission did, is very high. But if we are able to get about 100 people, for instance, to send the complaint, then they know that people are watching and are ready to take action on based on the complaint. So if you can go ahead, give your suggestions. If you don't have any suggestions, then wait for the final version and then send the complaint to the Solicitors Regulatory Authority. I will I will give share the steps on how to send the complaint to the Solicitors Regulatory Authority in the private group chat. The reason why we're having a private group chat is to make sure that we keep things contained and as secure as possible. So don't watch from the sidelines, join in. It is risk free. There's not going to be any blowback from doing it. So, what we're just after is to get the numbers of people to send these complaints to the SRA. And the more we're able, the more people who do it, the better. The more the merrier, should we say. Because while we're here, coming online, talking about it, calling her names, Sophie has already dusted off her company website. You know that Nandi Life Sciences, which she shelved when the controversy was brewing really hot. Now she has reactivated it, and on the website, she's bragging about supporting Sentebale like nothing happened. And I'm like, oh no, ma'am, not on our watch. And it should be like that. It's something that we can do that's risk free and it's free of charge to do. All you need to do is to attach the complaint to an email, just add some words like, dear sirs, please find attached and send it to the SRA. And you're done. So I would encourage us, at least we have it easier in the squad now because the days when the news coming up out about the Sussexes being so bad has passed. Now we're like in a chapter of joy, which is what Meghan has created. We can still do some gentle activism, and this I would think qualifies as gentle activism, right? And if you're concerned about your email, you can use a burner email for the activity. I'm going to use mine because I don't have anything to worry about. But if you're one of those people who's concerned, you can use a burner email and just send the complaint to the SRA. Let them get hundreds, if not thousands, of people complaining about her, and we have a legal basis to which from which to complain, because if you have ever donated to Sentebale, then you have every right to question the direction that Sentebale has gone. So you're not really doing anything wrong if you actually send the complaint. I say this because some people have said to me behind the scenes that a lot of people are worried about sending emails because they are concerned that there may be blowback. And I'm here to tell you that there is no blowback to be expected. All you need to do is to send this email, and there's nothing vile, there's nothing abusive, there's not, it's just stating the facts of what happened and sending it to the SRA. Why would the SRA respond? Because the solicitors, the UK solicitors and solicitors all over the world have a solicitors code of conduct, and she's supposed to, in part of the solicitors code of conduct is that every solicitor registered in the UK has a duty to act in the best interest of their client. And it doesn't matter whether you're acting in an official role as a solicitor, as long as you are registered as a solicitor, whether you're acting in your private life or in an official role, you have a duty to act in the best interest of the people around you. And she clearly didn't act in the best interest of the beneficiaries, right? So that's on its own is a solid reason for for her to get a reprimand from the Solicitors Regulatory Authority. That's all we're doing, that's all we're after. And I believe that if we get a good enough number of people to send the same complaint, you might decide that you will change up the wording if you want, but if the bones of the complaint is the same and you're sending it to the solicitors regulatory on the basis of having been a donor to Sentebale, the solicitors regulatory authority will look into it. And the evidence of her conduct is all over the media. the, the evidence of her bad conduct is all over the media. So you don't have anything to worry about. Okay, let me look at the comments. Lorna says the original Barn Girl and the original Yacht Girl family are fighting. My yacht is bigger than yours. For sure. Coffee and Cream says, what did W think? What did William think Harry would do if Harry and Meghan were still there? William and Kate did everything to alienate Harry and Meghan before the two of them fled the North House, for sure. But they just want them there so that they can blame them for everything that goes wrong, to be their whipping boys, and for them to do every task that they don't want to do themselves, sort of to be their own slaves. Mm. Gwendolyn says, I'm glad Harry took his beautiful Meghan and Archie away from that viper's nest because they were trying to destroy Meghan. Not just trying to destroy Meghan, they had already gone far in destroying Harry as well. Harry right now seems to be like someone who is in recovery. He's been away for so many years and yet he's still in recovery. I hope for him that he will finally heal because it's been a long period of indoctrination. Um, Kylie Jen says, was she trying to raise funds for the children or for herself? Because clearly she doesn't. Clearly, she doesn't care about the children. For sure, she was trying to raise funds for Sentebale, but she has, and I think she underestimates how badly she has hurt the reputation of Sentebale. Because the way she is still holding on to Sentebale with a death grip. But who is going to invest in her, even if it is for a charitable purpose? Who is going to invest in her after the way she has behaved? And what I missed out from saying is that she has said that she intends to, that the bullying allegations were not investigated, and she is looking at pursuing the bullying allegations in, maybe through the courts. So it's not over. So even if Prince Harry has this decide, you know what, I can't even be bothered with all of this. I am going to fold my activities in Sentebale into Archewell. He still has to prepare himself for the possibility that Sophie will sue for bullying. All the isms that she mentioned in her interview with Trevor Noah on Sky News. Anyway, um, let's see. Coffee and Cream says Sophie is bad, very bad, to loot and rob the treasury of a children's charity. For goodness sake. And it looks like Sentebale owns a property in Lesotho. So what they're doing now is, instead of the activities that they're supposed to do or conduct or carry out for the beneficiaries of the charity, what they're doing now is that because they don't have funds to run the charity anymore, they are now renting the property that they own in Lesotho out to other companies for them to host their activities in there. Can you imagine? Meanwhile, they're not, the activities for the children that the charity was formed for have been shelved. Just bad news all around. Lorna says, I think after Birmingham, Harry will move the Invictus board out of the UK. He better. He better. He just better. He better do that. Squaddies need to sue her behind for all that money. We can't sue her for the return of the donations that have already been made. But what we can do is to make her accountable for her conduct. And since the Charity Commission, well, they did say on their website that they are not there to mediate the conflicts between the parties in dispute, which they are not. They are just there to make sure that the Board of Trustees did what they're supposed to do. Okay. So, what has the potential of happening is that Prince Harry will sue Sophie for defamation, and she can possibly countersue him for the supposed bullying allegation. And then they would have to go and get a judgment to decide what actually happened. And I know by now that Prince Harry is, he started out with a lawsuit because of the unlawful information gathering which was being done against him by the media. So with all these years being going from one lawsuit to the other, he must be exhausted. But see, this is the problem that the smear campaign that the media have waged against him has caused. Because every Tom, Dick, and Harry, look at Sophie. Who is Sophie? Not to look down on people, but to be classist. But look at Sophie. Who is Sophie? Look at her background and look at what she has done. Anyway, uh, Twingy Twango says Sophie better be careful because she transferred money to her siblings and called them consultants, almost 500,000. She should be criminally investigated. Yeah, I think that the Charity Commission decided that they were not going to look into that for whatever reason. So, which means that there is every potential that the lawsuits will be coming for the money the that Sophie paid to so-called consultants, which no doubt must have been a conflict of interest, and then for her conduct, for defamation. I can see so many grounds f- on which Prince Harry would succeed in a lawsuit against her. And I can see where areas where she will want to counter sue. But it's whether Prince Harry will want to go down that route after having been in court for so long on various other matters is the question. But he may have no choice in this case. He may have no choice. And Sentebale looks like it's just going to go the way of the wind, unfortunately, because she has destroyed its reputation. So, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think that Camilla is outplaying William? Do you think that William will win this war? And do you think Sophie's bluffing about more legal action? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you don't want to miss our next upload. Until next time. Oh, hold on. Twingy Twango, thank you very much for the super sticker. Thank you very much. Until next time, I'm Weezy, signing off. Peace.